can you make a full-time living selling exclusively health and beauty and cosmetics? Now, the answer to that, of course, is yes. The market is saturated. There's a lot of people selling it, but there's a way that you can do it, okay? Now, for me, what I found out is, number one, you do have to do volume, right? You do, because a lot of the items sell fast, but the profit margins are smaller, okay? And it's going to depend on what platform you sell on. eBay, Amazon, Walmart. Walmart's a little bit newer to the game, so a lot of y'all probably ain't on there, and it's a little bit harder to get on there than it would be on eBay and Amazon. But the volume game is the name of the game. Now, you can structure your business in a few ways, and this is kind of what I've been doing. So you can do strictly volume, where you're doing smaller margin items that move really quick, but you got to sell thousands and thousands of units, right? And honestly, that stuff is fairly easy to get. And that's one of the things I like about it too. It's almost like clothes in that aspect, except the average sale price for these items are smaller than probably a lot of the average sale price for clothes, but it don't take up as much space. So like, my consideration is like space. I can fit thousands and thousands and thousands of units more than clothes, and still make, the same amount when it comes to average sale price. But you can structure it that way, or you can have the type of business where you're doing, I guess higher average sale price types of items, more luxury type brands and things like that. The problem with that is this: those exclusive brands, you can get yourself in trouble a lot faster. Brands like Revlon, Maybelline and them, yeah, you can definitely get in trouble. I'm sure in the past they've given out zeros on eBay and IP complaints on Amazon and things like that. But for the most part, they don't bother average resellers. You probably will have to be doing millions of dollars in revenue for them to kind of come and start messing with you. But those higher exclusive brands, man, those are the brands that you kind of can get in trouble with, because a lot of times those are the ones that's counterfeited the most. Nobody's going to really counterfeit a Maybelline lipstick or some makeup palette. But you start talking about some of the other ones, I can't think of them right now, but there's just a lot of brands out there that on Amazon especially, you can get yourself in trouble with IP complaints. And on eBay, you can definitely, not saying you can't sell them, but if you want to base your business around those things, that's a very risky proposition. Very risky proposition. And me personally, I would not base my whole business on those types of brands. I just wouldn't. I don't mind putting them in here and there, and I even do have some that I kind of mix in, but I don't know. I just don't do it. It's too risky. So what I do is I try to just sell thousands and thousands of units of the lower average sale price items, and I work on mixing in over time items that have a higher average sale price. And now we talking about things anywhere from your lotions and creams and skin creams and hair products, skin products, eye products, like all types of stuff, right? Makeup. So like there's a wide variety of items, and you have to go wide instead of deep. And I'm gonna make a video on this too, because I went deep on a couple items, and I'm really regretting it at this point because I'm losing money on those. And I'm gonna share that with y'all because it's just something that you need to know about. And I'm not saying that every item was, and these are items that were doing fairly decent, and then the prices just tanked. Prices tanked, man, and it sucks. But when you go a little more wider and you get more of a variety, even if a couple items do tank, you can still absorb that, So yeah, the name of the game is volume. You have to be willing to do volume. And then when you think about volume, you can do that in a few ways, right? You can do it all right from your little warehouse. Like I got this space in here, fairly big unit. You can fit thousands and thousands of units, like box per box. You just get a lot of stuff in here. You can do all the shipping and fulfillment yourself, right? At some point, you will probably have to hire, depending on what your revenue goals are, you have to hire somebody. I'm kind of like at that point where I might want to hire somebody, but I really don't yet. And the only reason is that I feel like I need to do everything that I can do first before I go out and hire somebody. And what that means is, if there's things that I can do, like if I can get up earlier, if I can streamline some of my systems even more, I want to get it to where the point where, all right, I'm getting up early. I streamline my systems as much as I could, and I'm still like taking all day to ship, then I feel like I need somebody. But if it comes down to, oh, well, I can get up an hour or two earlier, or I can make this a little bit more streamlined, I'm not going to hire nobody, because then that's kind of just like getting around, you know, that's not the answer at that time. So, you know, that's that. But you can hire somebody, and you can also, you know, you can, when it comes to Amazon and Walmart, you can do fulfillment by Walmart, fulfillment by Amazon. So there's a lot of ways you can scale up without having to do all the work yourself. You know what I mean? You just got to realize that when you do those fulfillment by Walmart and Amazon, that's going to cut into your profit. So then that's where you kind of think to yourself, okay, well, you can do an estimate as to how much more of my profit am I eating up by using those options, as opposed to if I just hired somebody. Because sometimes it might be cheaper to just do all the fulfillment yourself, and you can still get all your supplies and things like that and pay an employee. But when you do the breakdown, the cost will still be cheaper than Amazon. Like all you would do is just kind of take that total cost of the hire, and you would get the total cost estimate of all your supplies, and then you would just average that out. But then, you know, that's a whole nother thing, man, and I ain't about to get into that. But you know, there's a way to figure out what would make more sense. And then it just comes down to preference at that point, right? But the name of the game, nonetheless, is volume. However you want to go about that, and you want to make it to where you have a lot of bread and butter type of items that move on a daily basis, that people don't mind buying multi quantities of, but you also want to throw in there those higher average sale price type of items, okay?